In Italy, we are famous for our pasta, and Bologna is the place to come from fresh egg pasta, which artisans here have turned into a work of art. No wonder this city is known as the Grassa, the fat one. So here, the same attention to detail that is paid to art and to music, is paid to food. And so here you are, look, this is all made by hand. Look at what he says there. The tagliatelle, le tagliamo su misura. They cut the tagliatelle how long you want it. So if you want heavy sauce, short tagliatelle. If you have a light sauce, like a pesto or a tomato sauce, then long tagliatelle. 2/4 or 1/4, they call them, no?
So this is tailor-made pasta?
Ma not only, look, he says in it, tortellini per ingannare I vostri mariti, to fool your husband, because you take the moment, you tell your husband that you made it yourself.
Per ingannare
Because,
i mariti.
yeah. Buonasera, signora Edda.
Buonasera.
Oh,
Era un
che
po'.
piacere vederla. Ciao, un bel basino.
Ma ciao, come stai?
Bene. Mwah. Mwah. You don't come here just to buy stuff. It's not like a fuel station that you come in and you fill up the car and go. You talk to them, they talk to you. Look, there's a chair. You can sit down if you're tired. Food here is a living tradition. This shop has been in the same family for 130 years. Andiamo a fare un po' di pasta.
Andiamo.
It's obviously very serious business, this pasta job.
It's very serious. This is the perfect place to get the tagliatelle for dinner tonight. This is like a cathedral.
Prego.
We enter in now the inner chamber.
Prego, prego.
When you eat spaghetti or when you eat dry pasta, the one who comes from the south, that's durum wheat. Okay, so durum wheat contains a lot of protein. These, because in the north, the type of soil, they just only grow soft wheat. So the soft wheat hasn't got any protein in it. So the al dente won't be there. The pasta will be very mushy. Okay, so by putting the eggs, which contains a lot of protein in the eggs, you're going to achieve that al dente texture. This is like an incredible expression of how the land determine what you have on the plates. All the words, it's this spaghetti bolognese. Here, when they made the bolognese in Bologna, they don't know what spaghetti bolognese is. Nobody eats spaghetti bolognese.
No bolognesi, no bolognesi. Noi solo facciamo
So how come the world over people eat spaghetti
Because the
bolognese?
Americans,
Ah, okay.
vari passaggi.
Have you seen this? This is called mattarello. And signora Edda, a cosa serve il mattarello? A due
Per il
cose,
marito.
no? Two things. To make the pasta, and when your husband come back drunk, you wait behind the door and boom. And apparently they say that if you don't know why you hit him, he knows why you hit him.
Mio marito lo conosce.
Yeah, his husband knows this one very well, apparently.
Is
Not
that the
too
right
long,
length for your
That's
bolognese
perfect for our
sauce?
E
bolognese.
poi facciamo i nostri cestini,
here
i
we
famosi
are.
cestini.
You cut them up and put them
Ecco,
there.
questo è il nostro cestino. No pomodoro,
She said don't use tomatoes.
Pomodoro e
Don't do that
basilico.
about Bologna.
Ecco qua. Buon appetito, eh?
Don't drop it.
I'm leaving Andrew for a couple of hours to buy some other ingredients for dinner tonight. You know? Oh, yes. 3 o 4 carote.
E qui.
Grazie.
Grazie a te.
My Ragù is based on a classic recipe written by Pellegrino Artusi in 1891. Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
His book, Science in the Kitchen and the Art of Eating Well, is my Bible. In fact, here in Italy, is everybody Bible.
Questo è un ragù all'antica.
All'antica.
All'antica,
Come quello
proprio.
dell'Artusi.
Esatto.
Fantastico. Senza il pomodoro, eh?
Ma non lo so.
Un pochettino?
Ci vuole,
Sì, ce lo mettiamo?
Ce lo mettiamo un
Vedi?
pochettino, una punta così,
Una punta? Una puntina.
While Giorgio focuses on the local cuisine, I want to find a delicacy of my own, of the artistic type. I'm on the hunt for one of Bologna's hidden gems. Every major Italian town has a Pinacoteca Nazionale, national art gallery, which houses the work of local artists. Thankfully, there's 25 miles of porticos covering Bologna's pavements to keep the sun off my head. And with their frescoes, even these are artistic as well as functional.
Hey, sono stanco. I'm exhausted.
Are you
It's
okay?
too hot. Yeah, it's okay. But look at
Difficult
this.
to find this place, eh?
It's not easy to find, but this is what I like. You know, here we are. It's an unassuming part of Bologna.
Really unassuming.
Really unassuming. You wouldn't even know that this art gallery was here. It's just a little subtle sign, Ministero per i beni e le attività culturali. But I found the real treat inside for you.
This building may not be as impressive as the Uffizi in Florence, but inside there are real treasures to be found. The pinnacle of Italian art is not restricted to Tuscany and Rome. Bologna and Emilia-Romagna also produced some fantastically influential artists.
The Bolognese do not like this idea that you simply paint what you see. Realism is not their thing. Art is about conveying an idea. It's a much more intellectual approach to painting.
Guido Reni was born in Bologna in 1575 and became celebrated throughout Italy. But his fame dimmed as the Bolognese style of painting fell out of fashion.
That I really like.
This great painting was commissioned for Bologna's San Domenico church, and you can just imagine the impact it would have had as you stared at it over Mass.
Certainly draws your eye. It's a drama.
Yeah, it's a drama.
It's the massacre of the innocents.
So that's what they are, the little kids.
This is one of the bloodiest scenes in all of the Bible. You know, a genocide enacted upon children. And yet, the idea here in Bologna was that if you actually painted it as if it were real, it would just be so sensational that people wouldn't think about what's really going on. Whereas if you distance it all, people can bear to look at it, and therefore they can think about it in a different way and be affected by it in a different way.
For dinner, Andrew and I will enjoy a Bolognese masterpiece of a different sort, pasta al ragù. It's a dish that sits firmly on a local tradition of rich Italian food. Must be one of the reasons Bologna is also nicknamed La Grassa, the fat.
Bologna la dotta would not exist without Bologna la grassa. La grassa, the fat one.
For my ragù sauce, I'm following Pellegrino Artusi's classic recipe. Artusi was obsessed by the idea of compiling a comprehensive list of recipes from every Italian region.
Artusi, he's one of your heroes, right?
He's definitely my hero. He was the first writer that actually sort of put together in the book a concept of Italian cuisine. You know, because we have so many different regions with so many different microclimatic conditions and so many different ingredients. So obviously the diet is a little bit different. So his belief was not just to give you a recipe. They did give you the whole history of the recipe and the meaning of the recipe.
So it's kind of a culinary portrait of Italy.
Garibaldi unified Italy politically, but he kind of unified Italy gastronomically. Do you know what I mean? We're gonna have a little nice slap of butter.
You said you were going to put some heart in it. Was it a lamb's heart?
Yeah, the butcher, then we went this morning to get the thing. He says, oh, you want 2 hearts as well? I thought, yeah, I'll have the heart as well. I thought it was really good to put some hearts in.
So you must have liked Otello if you've allowed Otello to alter the great Artusi's recipe, eh?
That's true, you're right.
If you get some good advice in the market or it just seems right,
I'll tell you this
you
morning.
follow it, yeah.
So my meat is now kind of browny. I gotta put the vegetable in it that I already cooked. Today when I went to the butcher, Otello, he says it's true that Artusi say not to put the tomato, but just a nice little spoon of tomato per il colore, for the color.
But you know what you're doing here. You know what you're doing. You are going to get hit on the head with that rolling pin. Because she said, whatever you do, if you're making the Ragù Bolognese, you don't put the tomato in.
But I really want to put a little bit of tomato in it. A tiny little bit.
You're a heretic. You're a heretic. I tell you what Artusi has to say to you. Artusi had a very nosy priest who lived near him.
Right.
And he called him Don Pomodoro.
Don Pomodoro.
Do you know why? Because this priest got his nose into everyone's business.
Everyone business, every sauce.
This is like the tomato, he gets in everywhere.
In everywhere, yeah. And look, I just put in literally like a spoonful. Maybe 2.
You should give some leftovers to her and see if she notices.
Signora Eda, you mean? Perfect. Look.
To the success of your heretical pasta sauce recipe.
While my sauce is cooking, we got time to take in the sunset over Bologna. That's if we can make it up all the 280 stairs.
I mean, what are you trying to say? Working up an appetite?
That's what we're doing, working up an appetite for you. Ci siamo. We arrive. Come. Oh, look at the moon. Andrew, look at the moon. It's so beautiful. Look, all the centro storico is just red, isn't it? Now we really landed in Bologna. To me, you know, the best dish is tagliatelle with ragù. It's the best dish ever.
Can I take some cheese?
Un po' di parmigiano.
Così? How much?
As much as you like.
I don't like too much.
As much as you can afford, usually, they say. Thank you, Artusi.
Thank you, Edda. I think the pasta's delicious.
Pasta is delicious.
I mean, if that was spaghetti, Giorgio, look, if that was spaghetti, all of that would fall off, right?
That's exactly.
But it's been caught in the knot.
That's exactly. The spread of the idea of the spaghetti bolognese or with the meat sauce is very much attached to the immigrants. The immigrants left Italy because there was no enough food. So when they went to America, you know, the only thing they say is because there was plentiful of meat there. So they put as much meat as you can with every dish of pasta that they had.
So what had before been the dish you just eat once in a while when times are good and you've got some meat became...
Suddenly it was something that, you know,